Meltzer would report Vince McMahon attempted to get several of his wrestlers into a Baywatch show with a wrestling theme, but was turned down. All right. Let's just pretend for a minute that Vince really did have this idea. He calls you into his office. He's going to break the news. He's got this big idea. And he says,
God damn, pal, there's this show on TV. It's called Baby Watch. And what we need to do is we got to figure out a way to work with these babies. And they're on watch. I don't know the premise of it, but I'm pretty sure that we could find a way, I don't know, somebody with some maternal instincts to work with the babies. Baby Watch.
Is that you?
Yeah, that's what I said. What was that? Actually, they came to us.
Well, again, before we get the real answer, is that how Vince is in real life? Like he almost he's like one piece of information away. He's real close. Like, my dad, when social media first blew up, he'd say, "Hey son, do you have one of those book faces? Are you on the book face?" And so, he wasn't saying that to be funny. He's legitimately trying to inquire, but he's just, as they said in the movie Life, can't get right. Does Vince have that a little bit with modern pop culture stuff?
In my version, he does.
Sure. But in real life, do you think he has some of that too?
Sometimes, but once once you explain it to him, he's good with it. But, sometimes it'll be, especially with, new modern technology. You think I'm technology challenged. But once he gets it, he's in love with it and really will dig in and learn all about this social medium. What does she do? She tells you the future? No, he's again, yeah. In my version, it is. I always like to mess with him on that.
Let's talk about Baywatch. And the reason this is relevant here is because Pam Anderson is going to be a big piece of Royal Rumble 1995. She's the real star of Baywatch. Her and of course, Mr. Hasselhoff. But later in 95, WCW appears on Baywatch. Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Randy Savage, Vader. But meanwhile, the top star is here with you guys. What happened? Did you guys have an offer to do it and then for whatever reason passed?
Well, WCW did it for free and we wanted to be paid. And they had originally come to us with some wrestling premise, and it was attractive, but it wasn't something that, come on, did you see what they did?
No, I don't remember
watching. It was a little rough, but not to say that it wouldn't have been great exposure. And a lot of that did come through Ray Manzella and Pam who was Pam Anderson's, and I got it right that time. Ray Manzella, not Manzarek. I looked it up specifically, and Pam, because he was involved in that.
It's just fascinating to me. It's such a big show, and you guys were passing on the opportunity to be associated with it. I know you don't remember off the top of your head, but hypothetically, what do you think the ask was? I mean, you guys wanted to be paid, but how far apart were you?
They didn't want to pay. Don't you want to be on Baywatch? Yeah, sure we do. But your people were paid. Our people should be paid too. They thought being in a cameo and doing stuff would be enough and for the exposure. And I get that. I really do. They were the most popular show in the world at the time. But at the same time, you've got to position yourself in a certain way. And we didn't feel that that's the way we wanted to be positioned.
Well, since we're talking about all things Vince on this show, usually, what's the phrase Vince uses when he has to take a shit? Does he say things like, I have to go use the men's room. I have to go pinch a loaf. I've got to drop the Browns off at the Super Bowl. I've got to drop the kids off at the pool. I got to go take a Bruce and wipe my Prichard. What's he say usually?
That he's going to do a Connie.
Yeah, he refers to me as,
I got to go make a Connie.
You know, that fat guy you do a podcast with, you know the one with the beard or whatever.
Yeah. That one.
Well,
you know.
Meltzer would be critical of.
What are we doing with our life?
Trying to make people laugh, entertain them, talk about all wrestling stories.